Welcome to another Parramatta Career Mode series video, back with the Rugby World Cup as Tonga, and we are in the semi-final getting ready to take on Fiji, Bati, and as you can see, a whole bunch of upsets here in this tournament. So none of the tier 1 teams made it to the semis. It's going to be us versus Fiji, and in game 2 it's going to be Samoa taking on the Kumals. As far as the lineup is concerned, we have no changes to ours, of course. I'm just interested to see who Fiji has. I think much like Tonga, they'll have strong backs, a strong forward pack, but they might be lacking in the halves department when it comes to control and direction. That's pretty much the story for every Pacific Island nation. As we take a look at their side here, Rlwc, Montoya, Naingama, Blake, and Uate make up the back 5. I'm not too sure on that halves pairing. Maurice Kennedy sounds familiar. Regan Campbell-Gillard's in there in the front row. A pretty strong back row in Sims, Sutton and Kikau. And a pretty strong bench. Now, I don't think I've talked about this yet, but I was supposed to make a separate video about Tonga Invitational defeating Australia. That was probably the game of the year for me. The Tongan forward pack. Man, the team as a whole played with a lot of passion, I felt. And the defense in the dying minutes of the game, the Kangaroos had them under the pump numerous times on their own try line. And their defense managed to flip it on the Australians and force them to make some terrible and uncharacteristic mistakes while the Kangaroos had possession in the red zone. I don't want to delve too deep into it during this semi-final match, but yeah, I really enjoyed that match. I thought the young Brisbane Bucks, Payne Haas and Kotoni Stags, they both had mad performances. Stags in particular, for the full 80, was pretty impactful as we scored the first try of the game. On the back of that backline move, Feki got put into space off a short ball, and Ata Hingano with the conversion gets us up by 6. There was something else I wanted to address about that Tongan Invitational match, was the aftermath of it all. As Montoya pounces on a long ball from Pat Galfusi, and Montoya will race away for Fiji's first try of the game. I was gonna say we'll wait for this conversion as they even the scores here. So the post-match backlash, I guess, that some of the Australian boys are copying, I think is a little unfair. I've seen quite a few media personalities would rather bash the Australian players for losing the match rather than give credit where credit is due to the Tongan side, who, in my opinion, did outmuscle the Kangaroos through the middle until Payne Haas came on for his first stint and single-handedly turned the momentum of the game. As Akuolo goes over for our second try there. Having a great tournament so far, I think I mentioned in the last video, but yeah, I thought that the backlash that the Kangaroos were copying, I just felt that it was a little unjust by those certain media personalities. I think I'll just leave it at that. Here's my brief thoughts on that match. As we jump back into the game here, 4 minutes remaining in the half, we're going to shift it down this right edge as Fanua makes a break. We get set for an inside ball play, but we in fact go for the corner with no one at the back. Hingano will send it, and it ends up getting taken into touch by Vunivalu, and we will get the scrum feed on the 15. So just under 2 minutes remaining, we're trying to put more points on the board here. Langi gets wrapped up and gets an offload away to Taufua on the wing, and we will score our third try in this first half. A little bit of a tough kick for Hingano as he takes the strike, and he's going to be 3 from 3 heading into the halftime break.
Brings us to the end of the first half. Ed, my man, and I can call you man, tell us about the first half. What did you make of it?
Fiji will be relieved to hear the halftime whistle here. The opposition were coming wave after wave in that first half. I suspect we'll see much of the same in the second half. It's looking intimidating for them at this stage.
That, my friends, was written and spoken by Eddie Hemmings.
A lot of action in that first half, 4 tries in total, 3 to us. As Fiji off the kickoff end up passing and throwing an interception. Just inviting us to score more points here as we send it to the right, back inside to Feki. And East pulled down on the 15. Again we shift it down to the right, Albert Vete will get driven backwards in a powerful tackle by the Fijian left edge as we send it to Hingano to Hoita. And it's Hoita with a bit of power on display, running over the top of one Fijian defender before eventually getting wrapped up. We put it on the toe and it's a beautiful kick. Samsoni Langi linking up with Conrad Harrell. That's our 4th try of the match, and Hingano will convert 4 from 4. With just under 15 remaining in the match, I think it's safe to say we got this dub in the bag as Naingama, with the footwork around the ruck, makes a little break for the Fijians. Can they score a little consolation try? They send it back to the middle to Bukuya, and Jason Bukuya is pulled down on the 40. Second tackle, and they continue to try and muscle their way down the field. On the 3rd, Jason Bukuya once again, this time bumping off a defender before eventually getting pulled down on the 20. 2 tackles remain, and it's Viliami Kikau who dies on the 10. 5th and last here for the Fijians. We're trying to make changes here. It ends up being Naingama on the receiving end of a grubber kick. Will score a little consolation for the Fijians. That was kind of a perfect set. 59 meters, all that hard work from the forwards eventually pays off with a try in the end, and that ends up being the full-time score. We will be advancing to the final of this Rugby League World Cup, defeating Fiji here in the semi, 24 points to 12. As always, sure to charge that like button for more Rugby League content, or more content in general. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you
half a gong like a
later.
Fraction, cut the talk, more action. On the track, I'm gonna bring the storm and kick it off like Cam Smith. We ain't the ones to be enemies with. You are not really with business. I really hope that you're listening.